The first $10,000 that I saved working in corporate making big girl money, I did in about 8 months without necessarily changing my lifestyle or cutting out coffee. And I'm going to show you how you can do it as well. Today, we're talking about how to save $10,000. If that feels like a daunting task for you, I break it down step by step in this video so that you can approach it effortlessly. And when I say effortlessly, I don't mean just stop buying avocado toast. I mean actual tips, tricks, calculations, and automations that you can save to make it feel like it's effortless. Most people think that saving money means depriving yourself, having to track every penny, or making huge sacrifices that make you so miserable. But here's a reframe. If you can see saving money as something that you want to do that makes you happy because you can see your bank account number going up and up, and you can do it because you make saving automatic and invisible, these are the people who end up saving the most money. Hey guys, my name is Alice. I'm a chartered professional accountant and former finance girl. In my 10-year corporate career, I worked in private wealth, consulting, and also in tech. These are strategies that I would recommend to any person that's looking to save money. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 effortless systems that will get you to $10,000 without feeling like you're on a diet, plus 1 psychological trick that makes it impossible to fail. And I'll show you the exact timeline and numbers so you know exactly what to expect. By the way, guys, I really wanted to show you guys this. I saw this at the Lego store the other day. Like, they actually had the Mario Kart built on display and I couldn't take my eyes off of it. I thought it was so cute. So I didn't actually realize it's a more complicated build. It says 18 plus down here on the bottom and it's got 1900 pieces in it. So automation revolution. Before I show you the specific systems, there's one thing about saving money that most people get completely backwards. The secret to saving money isn't willpower, it's automation. Because the moment that you have to think about saving money, it kind of feels like dieting, right? It feels like willpower. You've already lost. So here's what I mean. The traditional saving mindset is that you first get paid, then you pay your bills, you spend the money, and then you save what's left, which is usually very little to nothing. But if we were to flip that into an effortless saving mindset, it's that you get paid, you automatically save first, pay yourself first, and then you live on what's left. It's a really short shift, but one of them relies on discipline, just like dieting and exercise, and the other relies on systems. So here's an exact automation setup that can help you save $10,000. And whether it's your first $10,000 or your 10th $10,000, this system will apply to you. I'm going to call it the invisible transfer. We want to set up an automatic transfer of $417 per month or $5,000 per year and schedule that $417 after payday. So if you're paid twice a month, you can divide that up into $209. We want to transfer this into a high yield savings account. And here's a tip. You might want to consider opening up a separate bank account from a different bank so that money is not so easily accessible. The second system is called the roundup method. Now, some bank accounts offer something called roundup savings for transactions, but not all banks offer this. So if this method sounds like it could work for you, then I recommend doing your research on whether your bank offers this feature before deciding where to open up an account. Let's say your bank does offer roundups and you opt into their service. So in the morning when you go to your coffee shop for your latte, maybe you pay $4.65 with your debit card. What that roundup feature does is that it charges $5 to your debit card, and then that extra 35 cents goes into the account that you've designated, right? So the difference between the actual cost, $4.65, and $5, the rounded up price, is transferred to your savings account. Now, 35 cents might not sound like much, but think about how many times you swipe or tap your debit card or your credit card, right? It's not uncommon for people to make 30 transactions plus a week. And you can easily save more than $10 a week with this roundup. That is an extra $520 a year just from a simple roundup feature. If you're someone who's tried budgeting for years and you've never been able to save more than $500, with this roundup method, you can save potentially up to a couple $1,000s without changing that much at all about your spending because the automation has done all of the work. The second strategy is what I call the income optimization strategy. Now, here's the part that most financial advice completely ignores, and it's the fastest way to hit $10,000, is that instead of cutting down on expenses, focusing on increasing income. This is so much more effective. Cutting expenses makes you so limited to how much you currently spend, whereas increasing income has far more unlimited potential. Most people can maybe cut $200 to $300 per month from their budget. You see these videos on people being frugal, going frugal to the extreme, clipping coupons, stuffing cash envelopes. That effort that you use to save $200 to $300 a month you can potentially increase your income by thousands. So here's 3 income boosts that can help you get to $10,000 in savings faster. The first is the salary audit. And that is that we want to research your market value of your job on websites like Glassdoor and PayScale, or even Robert Half, and see whether you are being paid. This is especially if you've been in your current position for a while. You want to see what the market value of your job currently is. And you might even want to consider asking for a raise using specific market data. This is a really effective way to get a raise. At the end of the day, this is what HR departments at companies do, right? They have a pulse on the market values. And so anytime you can use market data to justify asking for a raise, it's far more effective than just saying, hey, I worked really hard and I deserve a raise. Even a $2,000 annual raise after tax can be $150 extra a month to save. The second is skills monetization, which is listing skills that you already have and finding ways to monetize them. So this could be freelancing, consulting, or tutoring. And really, we're trying to make an extra $200 to $500 a month here. Some examples are bookkeeping, writing, designing, coaching. And the third one is what I call the optimization huddle, which is selling items that you don't use or you don't need anymore. We all have some tech tools, old gadgets, old phones that we don't use that we can put onto Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist and see if somebody else will take them instead of throwing them away or just letting them collect dust. Consider using cashback credit cards instead of reward credit cards. For some cashback credit cards, you can collect up to 2 to 3% on everything that you spend. Moving money from a regular savings account into a high yield savings account, which are paying around 3 to 4% annual interest right now instead of 0.01%. And then if you have any bills that you can negotiate or bring down, such as your phone bill, your insurance, any subscriptions, those are always easy ways to cut down. Now, what I like about this overall approach is that you're not really depriving yourself of anything, and you're actually improving your financial situation in multiple ways while building up this $10,000. But here's the psychological trick that makes the difference between people who save $10,000 and people who give up after 2 months. It's called mental accounting, and it's about tricking your brain into thinking that the money was never really yours to begin with. Because the problem is when you see money in your checking account, your brain automatically thinks that it's available to spend. And so the solution is that you want to make your money disappear before your brain can claim it as available to spend. So here's a 3 account system that can help you. The first is your checking account, which is your main account that you use to get a direct deposit from your employer and you probably use for some expenses. But if you keep a minimal balance in this account and just use it for monthly expenses, you can transfer any excess into a high yield savings account, which if you want to be really disciplined with this, you might want to consider opening at a separate bank. Account 2 is your high yield savings account. This is where you're going to stow your $10,000. The secret hack is to not open up a debit card or not have a debit card linked to this account. So the money is there, it's yours, it's in your account, but you can't spend it easily and you don't easily have access to spend it. You can also set it up so that it only allows automatic transfers only. And then a third account that you can use is an account for fun money, which is very similar to your checking account, but this is where you can put small amounts of money for guilt-free spending. This prevents you from feeling deprived. When you have your high yield savings account that you pretend like doesn't exist, sometimes you forget that you have savings because it's stowed away in other accounts. This is why people who get automatic 401k deductions end up saving more than people who try to contribute manually, because when the money never hits your checking account, you don't miss it. Now, let me show you exactly how this breaks down month by month, because having a clear timeline makes all the difference. And by the way, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you hit that like button and consider subscribing to my newsletter where I give you more personal finance tips and business tips every single week. But here is a realistic timeline to $10,000 using these systems. In month 1, we have the setup phase. Again, this is having your automatic transfers of $417 a month, setting up round-up savings if that's available to you. That can add an extra $75 a month, selling any unused items for a maximum of $1,000 a month. And so the total amount saved between month 1 and month 2 is between $1,000 to $1,500. The second part is month 3 to 6, which is the momentum phase. And this is where we want to continue putting away $417 a month into your high yield savings account. We want to continue with the roundups of $75 a month. Maybe at this point is when your side hustle money kicks in. You offer to do some bookkeeping for a family friend business and you now get an extra $200 a month. And so now your monthly savings are $692, which now brings your total savings amount to between $4,000 to $5,000. And then the last phase, or the last 5 months, is what we call the acceleration phase. Okay, so now we have all systems running from the previous phase, which is $692. And that by this point, maybe, hopefully, you've gotten that salary increase, which now adds an extra $167 a month to your savings, assuming that you don't spend it and don't indulge in lifestyle creep. And through those optimized expenses that I mentioned earlier, are able to save an extra $100 a month. That now brings your total monthly savings to $950, which brings us to a grand total of $10,000. Now, the beautiful thing about this timeline is that it gets easier as you go. The first couple months require setup, but then it's like a snowball effect of saving. Everything then turns onto autopilot. Here's another pro tip that you can consider. Set milestone celebrations for things that don't cost money. So when you hit the $2,500 mark, share your win with a friend or a family member. Tell someone. When you hit the $5,000 mark, take a screenshot on your phone, right? With a date on it so that you remember that this is a milestone. When you hit the $7,500 mark, start calculating how much interest that you're now earning on your money. And when you get to $10,000 a month, that's when you can plan for your next financial goal. Most people give up on saving because they don't see progress fast enough. This timeline that I've laid out shows you exactly what to expect and when so that you can stay motivated throughout the process. The last point is this failure-proof safety net. Because here's what happens when life gets in the way. Because it always does. Something always gets in the way and you still have to make sure that you hit your goal. The biggest reason that people fail at saving money isn't always a lack of willpower. Sometimes it's a lack of flexibility. Because life happens. We have car repairs, medical bills, job changes. So you need a system that can handle disruptions. And here's my failure-proof framework. The first is the 80% rule, meaning that if you save 80% of your target each month, you're still winning. So if you had a target to save $833 a month and you end up hitting $667 a month, that still gets you to $8,000 in 12 months, right? You're still winning because you're still saving 80% of your goal. And, if you need to take an emergency pause, that's totally fine. If you have a true emergency, you can pause your automatic savings for 1 month. We're not canceling your savings, we're just pausing, and then you can resume the following month. Don't let one bad month derail your entire savings goal altogether. The catch-up strategy. So if you start to fall behind, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do, windfalls, I say, to catch up. The first is tax refunds, right? So your annual tax refund can be used to catch up to savings if you commit to saving all of it. And then the second is your year-end bonus. You can always use your year-end bonus to catch up and save money. A lot of people think that they have to spend their bonus as soon as they get it, but if you can commit to saving it all, that is a great way to catch up with any savings that you might have missed out on. Too many people give up when it comes to their first $10,000 because they missed their target for 1 month. But this isn't about perfection, it's about progress. So even if it takes you 15 months instead of 12 months, you still have $10,000 that you didn't have before. So just to recap the effortless systems, we want automation that saves without thinking, income optimization instead of expense cutting, the psychological hack of mental accounting, a realistic timeline with milestones, and a failure-proof safety net for when life happens. And the most important thing to remember about saving $10,000 is that this isn't about depriving yourself. It's about setting up systems that work even when you don't. If you guys enjoyed this video today, you're gonna love my other video on why net worth skyrockets at $100,000. $100,000 is a huge financial milestone for a lot of people, and there's something that happens at $100,000 that really helps your wealth tick off. So make sure you check out that video up top because I explain exactly why and how you can go from $100,000 to $1 million. Let me know down in the comments below what questions you have about saving money, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until next time.